Welcome to the Home Services Home Show, where you'll learn relatively a lot that you need to know.
And a whole lot you don't.
Yeah.
And that's my job. The whole lot you don't.
That's where you come in.
Smart guy. A whole lot you don't.
Smart ass.
Well, that's a fact.
No, I was just looking at this tablecloth, and like we always play with it. We should not have it. Why do we have it?
Producer Shane put it on there.
Is this too much wood? Was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Too much wood. I've heard that before.
That's going to be a clip.
Okay.
Everything you say, he will use against you. Just so you know that, right? Well, here's the deal. So summertime's coming to an end, right? Like, woke up the other morning and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Weather was cool. And today we're going to talk about some gutters. And what got us talking about gutters off before we started this is the racing season's coming to an end. And you looked at me like, the racing season?
Yeah. Track? Sprinting?
No. Lawnmowers.
Olympics?
Lawnmowers. Lawnmower racing season. The Midwest Lawnmower Racing. Sorry. Whack-a-mole. So during
playing with this thing.
Back in 2020, my cousin Jeremy talked me into, my wife and I, into buying a bar with him during COVID. Seemed like a real logical idea, right?
Yeah,
bars are closed.
Not even supposed to be open. Although there it didn't.
Fremont's a little different. But anyway, so I bought this bar, and you know what's dumber than buying a bar? Buying a racetrack. We bought a bar and a racetrack the same day, right? Has a 10th mile
Lawnmower racetrack.
Has a 10th mile oval dirt track for racing lawnmowers. Pretty amazing, right? Wander in Wisconsin was just there with Shadrap, the funny fishing songs guys. They dressed goofy. They came by and had a whole entourage.
You have to put a little bit of their stuff on here.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Shadrap stopped by. They did a whole video and they enjoyed the day of lawnmower racing. Now they take these lawnmowers and they soup them up. And they do like 40 or 50 miles down a straight stretch. The big class does, right? They have classes from like the kids all the way up to the big boys. It's pretty wild. So that season's almost coming to an end.
It's very Wisconsin.
Very Wisconsin. So if that's coming to an end, then you know that summer's coming.
Lawnmower races and Busch Light.
That's how you know God loves Wisconsin. Fact.
America.
All they need is some guys lighting off fireworks and call it good.
You sell cheese curds?
Got cheese curds. The bar in Wisconsin has to sell cheese curds. But yeah, so anyway, it's kind of a weird summer, and it's summer's kids are going back to school, right? Taking my daughter to school tomorrow. Taking her out west. She's
college.
You're old. I am getting old. Like my baby's gone. I told my wife, you're gonna start liking me again. It's just you and I.
I know it's hard to believe because I'm gray, but he's actually older.
Yeah. 2 years, right? Year?
2 years.
2 years. So anyway, but fall's coming, and that means it's gutter season.
It is gutter season, and some people that see this probably listen to. I have a radio show every single week, and we talk
superstar.
What are you gonna do? Podcast, TV commercials, whatever.
Radio shows.
It's a funny story. So, like my daughter's friends think it's kind of neat that they see me on TV and this and that, and then she's got a couple friends who are like, Andy, we really want to be on your commercials. We could be on your commercials. I'm like, yeah, okay. They're like, we could be the Gutter Girls, and I'm like, yeah. You guys are young.
So innocent.
You don't want to be called the Gutter Girls. This is not by choice.
Yeah. Your daughters are still young enough, and they're so naive and they're so innocent yet. That's awesome. God, hope they never lose it.
No, 100%, right? They're just new teenagers, and I sent you that video last night. Her and her friend thought it'd be fun to go in my closet, put my clothes on, and dance
around, right? Doing funny dances. Now imagine if you and I tried to do that dance. That would be epic. We'd probably pull something, maybe break something.
Yeah.
And it would not be nearly as fluid as they were.
No, she's pretty fluid. So, but yeah, the Gutter Girls.
The Gutter Girls.
So, so what I talked about this morning was, you can call it what you want. Some people call it global warming. Some people call it weather pattern change or climate change. Rains have changed, right? Weather seems to be more extreme, I would say, right? So like here in Wisconsin, May, June, July, worst drought. Well, May and June particularly, worst drought on the books.
Yep.
Right? It didn't rain for 9 weeks.
Nope.
Nothing. Like it hurt to walk through the grass.
Right.
Now we've gotten a little bit of rain, but we're still way, way, way behind. But then when we get it, we get it.
And you guys got hammered this last week.
We did. I mean, I had over 3 inches of rain at my house by noon.
Wow.
And it was a hard downpour for hours. That is when issues will rear their ugly head.
For sure.
Even with gutters and with roofing.
Yep.
Because with roofing, when everything gets that wet and then it stays
saturated, right?
It's saturated. The roof is saturated. I can't tell you how many calls. Honestly, I feel like we could have had 5 people answering the phone that day to set leads because that's how many people were calling in.
Right. Pain level was very high.
Pain level was very high. Urgency was very high. People had water coming in there through their roofs, through their skylights, into their basements. But main thing we were going to talk about was gutters.
Yep.
And the importance of having a highly functioning gutter. And one thing I talked about this morning was size does matter.
Hit that one right in the head. I was going to go carrying capacity, but you hit that.
I don't know. It's just where.
Wow. Lars. Whatever that workout you did this morning.
When it comes to gutters.
Whatever that workout was, send that workout to me because my head. That had to be a hell of a workout.
Involved a lot of burpees.
Great. Keep it. Don't send it to me. I'm good.
There was 75 of them.
That's too many. That's 74 too many.
Oh God, they're miserable. But yes, size does matter when it comes to gutters.
Sure.
Carrying capacity is, I guess that's another way to put it.
A little bit more PC.
A little bit more PC.
Yeah.
What were you thinking I was talking about?
I didn't know. I got
Gutter
it.
size.
I got it today, and you can tell you've been very busy. You're like kind of all flighty, and like next thing you were talking this or talking that, and so it's all good.
Been on Zoom calls all day.
All day.
I think my brain's actually starting to work again because for 3.5 hours I just went like this.
Welcome back.
What did you say? Huh? They're asking me questions. I was like,
all right, so you know that clip there is gonna be just as popular as your buck snorting at you when you walked out to the gym that day. That producer Shane's gonna nail that one. He's got that look.
Oh,
but
yes, call for 3.5 hours. But anyway,
so when it comes to gutters, people kind of forget about gutters this up until about this time of year, right? Like
I think that's where I was trying to go is that we hadn't had a lot of rain.
Yeah, we hadn't a lot of rain. So when people think about gutters in March, April, May, right? Ice is melting.
Unless it rains, you're not thinking about it.
Ice is melting, snow's melting. So it's a prolonged period of thought process of where's water going.
Mm-hmm.
Because people think about the snow and ice. There's a lot of water on that roof. So all spring long as it's thawing, is moving, people are thinking, okay, where's the water coming from? Where's it going? How do we control it? And that's what a good gutter system does, right? And just like you say, it will rear its ugly head when things aren't right in those periods of time in spring and fall, or you have your heavy rains. So in May and June, people weren't thinking about gutters. Didn't rain, wasn't a problem. You got 3 inches up down by you here. We got just over an inch up by us, and the same thing happened. Phones blew up. People were calling. You get those panic calls from the sweet old ladies like, I don't know what to do. I got water in my basement. My gutters don't work. We're not a miracle drug, but we'll try.
And is it that their gutters don't work, or that the whole system is actually designed improperly?
Probably some of both, right?
Right.
Correct.
Which is a major benefit of gutter shutter, or what we do when it's a whole system. We go to people's homes all the time, and they're some of them don't know that we're a whole system.
Right.
But that's the benefit.
That's a benefit.
How can we warranty it and service to a fault if we don't do all of it?
If you don't design it right.
Right. Now, especially with gutter shutter, because it is so big and has such a large carrying capacity, I mean, there's many times that we're eliminating or getting rid of problem downspouts.
Correct.
You got downspout going on your driveway or across your sidewalk that you don't need with our
You've
system.
hated for years.
You've hated it. You trip on it. You step on it. You've replaced the end. It creates a lot of ice and snow.
Squirrels up the downspout. Dogs.
Yeah.
Squirrel wins.
Yeah. Anybody ever seen that, Shane? Chipmunk up the downspout.
Dog's not giving up.
This is a story real quick. We'll just interject here. We actually had to replace a lady's downspout twice. She was mad at us because we didn't tell her that a chipmunk could run up her downspout. And her dog was some kind of psycho. And 2 different times it tore the downspout apart and like cut its mouth all up. Like the dog just went mental.
That's what they're made to do. Dogs are made to chase squirrels like chipmunks.
But it actually tore the whole downspout 2 different times. And we get there to replace, there's blood all over the downspout. What? Your dog needs a pill. Gummy or something.
Gummy your dog to slow him down a little bit. Oh, that's good stuff.
He'll end up licking the chip. Oh, shit. Shoot.
So yes, when we talk about designing when you design a system like gutter shutter, and you can accurately predict the water's gonna come off the roof, how we're gonna handle it, where it's gonna go,
right,
where it needs to go, right? It makes a better system than just trying to hope and poke and hope that your system you have works now is gonna work.
How many times you went to somebody's house, they've had the system on for years, they always get water in their basement, and you check with the gutters are actually clean,
right?
But then you start looking at some of the downspouts, and you know that the water just can come out the end of the downspout and come right
back in
the house.
Yeah,
right. They've had foundation or the grading around the home has settled over the years, and the downspouts not long.
Positive grading is not in the vocabulary at that point.
No.
So
redesigning the system is a key, and the way that we service our product. I mean, if it ever clogs, obviously we're going to take care of it, but honestly, if anything's wrong with it, it's just a phone call.
Just a phone call away.
It's a phone call. It's never a charge.
Nope.
If a company gives you warranties and they want to charge you to come out and look at it,
that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Or how long is that warranty good for?
Right.
This whole 1 or 2 year thing.
Yeah, we hear a lot of people are like 2-year end cap to end cap, 2-year whatever. Well, a lot of stuff happens after 2 years.
Correct.
Sealants are made to last a long time, but when you're in our type of climate where it can be 100 or a -30, things move, they shift, they crack,
right?
And then you get a drip right over your front door.
It's never in the grass where no one's gonna ever notice.
Right,
front step, sidewalk, garage door,
right, where it's gonna be a problem. So, but with us, we're gonna handle it.
Sure.
We're gonna take care of it. The only questions that we ask is what the problem is and what part of the house it is, so we can find where it is.
Fix it right the first time. Yep.
So
if you design a system to carry the water, first and foremost has to be designed to carry the water. Then lastly, got to keep the debris out. It's a pretty easy equation, right? Carry the water, keep the debris out. If you carry the water, keep the debris out, homeowners don't worry about it. George isn't stressing about it. In his beautiful bride, that's they're both in their 90s. They're not worried about what happens to that water anymore. They don't care. It goes away, right? Design the gutter to carry the water capacity. Keep the debris out. Life's good.
There's a reason gutters were made. Water is extremely destructive.
Correct.
We need it away from the house. We need it away from the foundation. But having to clean gutters, it sucks.
Yes.
It's very dangerous.
You think about the thousands and thousands of customers we've helped over the years. Never clean the gutters again. Yep. It's amazing. Like, do you think about we've been doing this since 2008, 2009? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of thousands.
I started actually swinging a hammer and a drill in 2000. So I've done it a lot. But we may have talked about this previously, but I was snowboarding one time and this tree got in the way and it snapped my leg. And
you thought you were athletic.
Well, first I was going to take it out, but it was, I don't know, it's pretty big. So I had to have
Did you have a gummy today?
No.
You're fucking weird.
No. Can we say the F word?
I just dropped it. Sorry. Okay. He'll beep it.
Beep. But when I went to I had to have surgery on it, and the surgeon that I talked to, and we started talking, he had listened to my radio show, and we never followed up with this again, but he was like, I should be on your radio show because I make a living fixing ladder falls. Broken ankles, broken wrists, broken neck. Yep. He's like, lucky if they actually get to me.
Correct.
Because a lot of
I could fix that.
But he said in the fall, it is ladder accidents, it's cleaning gutters, tree stand falls, and Christmas lights.
Sure.
He's like, that's my whole fall and into my winter. It's all ladder stuff. It said it's dangerous, and if people do it once a year, they don't know what they're doing.
Correct.
And so, yeah, that kind of really resonated with me because he's like, oh yeah, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
Ladders are not safe.
No. Especially when you get older.
Yeah, you only do it once a year.
Right.
You know?
Correct. If you look at our average age of the gutter customers we deal with, they're probably, it's
Over
easy to
50.
say 50 plus,
Over
right?
50 for sure.
And look how many are in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, it's getting younger because a lot of younger people are getting wise to doing. It's one thing to do maintenance on your home. It's another thing to do dumb maintenance on
Correct.
your home, and that is dumb and it's dangerous. You know, it's different to like, I don't know, power wash your deck than it is to get up and
Clean
clean
gutters.
gutters. So,
Right.
yeah, gutters are important.
Design them, keep the debris out.
The whole system. So, if you guys are interested in our area,
Yeah. You know, Larson's down here in Madison, the south central part of Wisconsin. I'm up in northeast Wisconsin by Green Bay. So we cover most of all of Wisconsin between us and our buddy Ernie in Milwaukee.
We do. We got a lot of information on our websites at KeeneyHomeservices.com and LarsonHomeservices.com. Next show, we're going to have a special guest from GAF. We're going to talk some roofing product, material, different types of shingles.
Should have a really neat perspective.
Yeah. So we're going to have a special guest from GAF come on. And, I mean, his opinion might be a little one-sided, but
good information.
Good information. So that's the show for today. We'll see you next time.
Awesome. See you guys.